Hello students, in our earlier lecture we had learned about the three aspects of staffing. One was recruitment, another was selection, and third was training. In our today's lecture we will be talking about recruitment in detail. So first of all, we have to understand once again what is recruitment. And we had learned, when we say recruitment is a process of searching for prospective employees and stimulating those prospective employees to apply for the job vacancy in the organization. So very important, searching and stimulating. There may be many prospective employees, but through recruitment only we see that there is a possibility that those prospective employees, they can be attracted to apply for the vacancy which is lying in the organization. So we have learned, when we say sources, the sources through which the recruitment is done, there are two sources are there. One is internal source, another is external source. Internal source means making use of existing staff to fill up the vacancy. That means whatever vacancy arises in the organization, that has to be filled from within the organization, and that is why it is called internal source. So existing staff, they may be given a chance to work on the vacant positions which is lying in the organization. And that is why internal sources are of two types. One is promotion and another is transfer. So let us talk about these internal sources, promotion and transfer, in detail. Apart from this internal source, there is also external source. That means the vacancy which arises in the organization, that is filled from outside, not from the existing staff. We will be learning in our next lecture about the various external sources of recruitment. Today we will be talking about the internal sources. So first internal source is promotion. What is promotion? Promotion means vertical movement of an employee from lower level to the higher level position. Vertical movement means if the employee is here, he will be shifted up. This is vertical movement. So opposite of promotion is demotion. Vertical movement can be upwards, vertical movement can be downwards. When we say vertical movement, that means from lower level position to higher level position. If an employee is shifted in an organization, that is what is called promotion. And with this shift, we see that an employee has higher responsibility, greater pay or compensation, better status, and also better facilities. But exceptions also happen sometimes. Sometimes promotion may not accompany higher pay, and that is what is called dry promotion. Rest of the things will be there. Better responsibility or higher responsibility will be there, status will be enhanced, facilities will be more, but the pay structure will remain the same, and that is what is called dry promotion. Opposite of promotion is demotion, where we see that the shift is not upward, but the shift is downwards. That means from higher level position to lower level position, if there is vertical movement downwards, that will be called demotion, and that is a kind of punishment which sometimes the organization gives to its employees. So promotion always provides encouragement, it provides motivation to the employees, it provides satisfaction to the employees, it gives you may say it may boost the morale of the employees, and it also provides more commitment and loyalty from the employees side to the organization. So it is beneficial vice versa, both to the employees and to the organization. The second type of internal promotion is transfer. Here also we see that the movement takes place or the shift takes place, but this shift is the horizontal shift or the horizontal movement of an employee. Horizontal means this is horizontal line. Horizontally the employee moves from one job to another, from one department to another, and from one shift to another. And once this transfer takes place, this transfer takes place without any substantive change in responsibility, pay or compensation, status or facilities. So the question may be put that if there is no change in responsibility, if there is no change in pay or compensation, if there is no change in status, and if there is no change in the facility, why does this transfer take place? So objective of transfer is, we can just understand it with the help of these points. Transfer takes place to place an employee in a position of his interest or ability. Sometimes wrong placements occur in the organization. As a result, the organization has a chance that if vacancy arises at a place where the employee who is wrongly placed can be shifted to that place which is the area of his interest, or he has the ability to work at that place in a better manner, automatically that can be done. Second reason is to fill understaffed departments with overstaffed department employees. We have learned earlier also that always in an organization there should be a position of neither understaffing nor overstaffing. So in a department where there is overstaffing, the employees can be transferred to the place where there is understaffing, so that balance can be maintained in the organization. The third reason is to move the employees with position with higher priority in terms of achievement of organizational goals. This is organization's need. If an organization observes that a particular employee is to be transferred to a particular place to carry out the work which is of high priority area, he should be, because that is going to impact the achievement of the organizational goals, he can be shifted to that place. So with this we see that internal sources give the chance to the existing employees of the organization to work with either better status, or you may say higher responsibilities in the form of promotion, and or he may be shifted to the area of his interest or the organization's need, and in this way we see that the recruitment helps in filling the vacant post whenever it arises in the organization. But we have to understand the differences between promotion and transfer. Very briefly, through the definitions it becomes very clear, but if in the exams it is asked, it should be always explained with the help of basis, on what basis you can differentiate between promotion and transfer. So I have made these 5 points to explain it to you very clearly, the difference between promotion and transfer from the examination point of view. The first basis is on the basis of meaning. What is promotion? On the basis of meaning, promotion means shift. of an employee from lower level position to higher level position, whereas in case of transfer, lower to higher level. Whereas in case of transfer, there is shift of an employee from one department to another, or from one job to another, or from one shift to another shift. On the basis of scope, when we say in case of promotion, the scope increases or widens, you may say. Whereas in case of transfer, there is no change in scope. No change in scope. Direction, always we see that in case of promotion, there is vertical shift upwards. And in case of transfer, there is horizontal shift. The purpose of promotion is to provide motivation, encouragement, satisfaction, and to see that the employees' morale is boosted. Boosting morale, you can write so many points to you may see that take commitment of the employees for the organization to stay for long period of time. These things are provided through promotion. And the purpose of transfer, we have seen 3 objectives of transfer, in which we learned that the purpose may be to see that the employee is given a chance to a place of his interest which suits him, or he is capable of working at a place which is more you may say suitable for him to work. If the organization needs a particular person to work at a particular place, there is a chance to shift him from one department to another department. Or you may also see that the understaffed department, that can be certainly provided more employees by shifting the overstaffed employees to the understaffed departments, overstaffed department employees to the understaffed department. So there may be different purposes. When we see monetary gain, in case of promotion, there is always monetary gain is there. In case of transfer, no monetary gain is there. So 4-5 points are there, you can just understand it. Now after this, we will be learning that internal sources of recruitment also has some advantages and disadvantages. Let us learn. First of all, we will be talking about the advantages of internal sources. The first point is it provides motivation and improves performance. So through promotion is a way, or it may also be through transfers. Promotion motivates a person and enhances a person's ability to work for the organization to the by using his or her capacity to the maximum possible extent, if a person is satisfied from inside, and that always benefits the organization. So it improves the performance when an employee is expecting that promotion and if he gets that promotion. Also, if an employee is working at a place and he is not satisfied at a place, he can be shifted to a place where his interest lies and he is capable of performing there better. Then that is going to motivate a person and improve his performance, and if that improvement in performance is there, it is going to benefit the organization. So both transfer and promotions can certainly improve the performance. It is always economical when we talk about internal sources, because for internal sources there is no need for advertisement and there is no need for induction training. Whether it is advertisement involves lot of cost, and that cost is saved. Also, there is no need for induction training because the employee certainly is familiar with the organization. He has got a chance to serve the organization maybe at better place as per his liking, and that is why we see that there is no need for further training to be provided to the employee, and that saves the cost. A simple placement is required. If a person is shifted from one department to another department, there is no need for the placement protocol which is required for hiring the new employees coming from outside. It can be easily done. A tool of training. Sometimes an organization also shifts the employees to different places of work so that an employees get versatile in doing different natures of work of the department, and in this way he equips himself with better skills. So it is a tool of training also. Transfer, an opportunity to mend wrong placements, and transfer gives that opportunity. If someone has been placed wrongly in the organization, through transfer that wrong placement can be corrected and a person can be placed to the right place. Benefits of balancing the workforce. This is also through transfer. We can see that overstaffed department employees can be shifted to the understaffed department employees in understaffed departments, and in this way the balance can be maintained. So these were some of the advantages. Also it suffers from some disadvantages. Not suitable for new enterprises. If it is a new enterprise and first time it has come into existence, it is not possible to have promotion or transfer. In that case only the people from outside that will be hired. So it is not suitable. Then second is no infusion of new blood. If there is no infusion of new blood, sometimes we see that the employees, they take for granted that they will be given time bound promotion, and their work is also lethargic, which is not a good move, and the organization suffers because of it, and that becomes a disadvantage. Lack of competition. We have seen that if there is no person coming from outside and from within the organization only, the policy of the organization is to fill the vacancies, then the competition factor certainly is affected, because if there is no infusion of new blood from outside, the competition minimizes to a great extent, and that is not good for the organization. The people should always be on their toes to improve their performance, and in such case, if there is no competition, there is less chances of improvement of performance. Effect on production and productivity. If frequent transfers takes place and a new person works every now and then on a particular job, there is shifting of people from one job to another, that means frequent transfer is taking place, we see that it affects the production and the productivity. So this is also one of the disadvantage which the organization can suffer because of the internal source. Then possibility of conflict, both in case of promotion and in case of transfer it happens. Those who are expecting promotion, and if they don't get the promotion, there is always a you may say condition of dissatisfaction which may lead to conflict in the organization. Also in case of transfer, if a person is transferred and is unwilling to be transferred from one department or one shift to another shift, or from overstaffed department to understaffed department, maybe his willingness to work gets killed. If a person feels settled at some place and he has been shifted, then the performance is going to be affected, and that is always a cause of conflict also in the organization. So we see that these have been some of the advantages and disadvantages which has to be kept in mind before deciding whether the organization should go for internal sources of recruitment or the other way out is external sources. In our next lecture, we will be talking about external sources, and we have learned that there are so many external sources We will be learning in detail direct recruitment, casual callers, advertisements, employment exchanges, then placement agencies and management consultant firms, then campus interviews, then labor contractors, internet, web publishing. Then these are some of the 9-10 external sources through which the vacancy can be filled in the organization, for which the information can be shared with the people. So we'll be learning about it in our next class. Till then, for the time being, just we have to go and memorize this aspect. Thank you for joining.